All right. Well, welcome to the cabin. I'm so happy to be here today with my friend Bipolar Man. First of all, I just want to say that the cabin is sponsored by Monster Energy Drink, one of my favorite drinks, and Pierce Media Group, the group of radio stations and magazines. We've got Cat Country, and we've got Cat Power Hit Radio, and Harmony Chronicles Magazine, and Cat TV. And this is a feature, the cabin is a feature on Cat TV. And I'm so happy to be talking today with Mr. Bipolar Man. Why do they call you Bipolar Man?
I have very much have bipolar disorder. I just
Okay.
assume it's much easier to just make that my name so that if I really do some dumb shit, that I can swear. Not swearing. What's the word? What's we got going on?
Oh, we
We
can
like
always beep you out, I guess, if we have to.
okay. I'll try and withhold it. Yeah, it's just easier. I figure it's just straight up easier this way to have my name be Bipolar Man, and then if anybody has any issues with things I say, do, or this, I can just point to the name and just be like, well, I mean, that's my name.
It's kind of like having an ID card or something, eh?
Yeah, it's just easier. And I mean, it's just, it's also, for pro stuff, just being just a little bit of anonymity and that kind of thing. I have a son and the son's mom and stuff. So, I mean, not flashing my name around there all the time. Not like it's hard to find out my real name if you really want to. But I mean, I guess most people, you'd be so surprised or really lazy, like they couldn't tell you what Pink's real name is or something like that, right? When it's
True enough.
really
True
easy to
enough.
find it out. But, so it's just easier that way, I guess. And
I
I like
love
it.
I love it. I love Bipolar Man. I think it's awesome. And I
Yeah,
mean,
me too.
we've talked a little bit in the past. First of all, I want, one of the main reasons that I'm sitting down with you today is because you've got this great band that is about to release a single coming up soon, and the
Yes,
name of the band is Special Agent Sunshine.
that is correct.
And the cool thing is that, again, you call yourself Bipolar Man, and that's for a reason too. Not only because you say that, you work with bipolar, that's part of your life, but also because Special Agent Sunshine is really some of the themes that you talk about in your songs have to do with mental health.
Yeah, I'm just straightforward with it and honest. It's not even a thing really. Like I know obviously as we get bigger and bigger, it'll probably turn into like a shtick or something, but it's not. It's just I mean, I'm 42, so like for me, I've grown up through the 90s, through the 2000s, and constantly seeing the difference in how people talk about mental health and how people are able to, communicate about it. Even like watching like old Law and Order episodes where like in 1990 people only referred to it as like manic depressive or like this or that, right? Until like it started changing throughout society, and then eventually everybody catches up. And honestly, now is probably the best time on the history of the world that's ever been acceptable to talk about and communicate with your mental health and just talk about it. And for me, just with all the struggles and things I've battled with and gone through to be able to get to where I am right now, it just is something that I want to put right out there so people aren't afraid to talk to me about it, so they can feel like they can talk about it with other people. And that's really the premise behind it.
I think it's a beautiful thing, and I think it's something that's very, very relatable. And for you to have the courage to just be very open about it and put it right out there and talk about it in your music, I think is powerful. I think it's courageous. I love it. I love it so much. As you know, not only am I, here on the cabin with the Pierce Media Group, but I'm operations manager at Big Records, and you and I talked, prior to the signing with Big Records, and congratulations, by the way, on that. Um, and you played me all this music. You've got this vast history of music. I mean, you've been in the music industry for a long time.
Yeah, like I'm 42 now. I started when I was probably like I started really thinking that okay, well, this is what I'm gonna do. Probably 20 years ago, and then I worked hard at it for like when I was 24. I moved from Ontario after college. I moved to Chicago, and I lived there for 10 years. And I just toured and toured and toured and played and played and played as much and did everything I could until I was about 28. And then like this all started like really kicking in and kicking my ass, and it was like out of nowhere. I just didn't care anymore. I stopped practicing. I stopped showing up to shows. I stopped trying. I stopped caring. It was just gone. And then it took like 13 years for me to like battle through all this for a couple of years ago to finally get reorganized with everything and get settled with what I have, and get like organized with what I need to do with my life, how I can organize, and what situations I can put myself in and what I can't put myself in, people I can have around me and people I can't have around me, and just reorganizing everything so that I have the ability to, I guess, systematically make this happen. And then last year I met Merrick Emrock, my co-writer, who also has bipolar disorder. And then it was just immediate. It was immediate. Like immediately, he sent me. He was looking. I found him on Craigslist, of all places, and he was looking for a lyricist, vocalist to like put stuff over the music he'd been writing for years and years and years. And he's been in the industry for a long, long time. He's a engineering freaking legend in the Canadian music industry. Just knows everybody and has been everywhere, and worked with in Dr. Dre's home studio and worked at Sound City Studios in Los Angeles for 10 years. Like just like killed it. And then he just played me some of his stuff, just the music with nothing on it. And it was like, just like immediately, I'm just like, oh, okay, this is exactly what should go on here. And this works and this works. And it all just started flushing out. And then it's just been perfect over the last year. And almost a year to the day that we met each other, we signed a record deal with Big Records.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, one thing that's impressed me so far about the material that you showed me is the production. The production quality is intense. It's so good. Not to mention the songwriting, which I absolutely love, and I love your voice. But I love the production that Merrick has built around your voice. It's incredible. What instruments do you play?
Personally, I mean, if I'm gonna say I'm gonna go up and impress people, I would say, because I can play about 30 instruments. Like I found out as a young, like when I was about 11 or 12, I realized really quick when I started playing clarinet. In 2 weeks, I was better than everybody else in the class that played clarinet, kind of thing, right? Like I just realized, okay, I see this, I can do it, I know how to get it done, I know how my brain organizes enough to do it. And then by the time I was done in high school, I could play like 15 different instruments, most of the stuff in the orchestra, drums, guitar, bass. I can dabble on the keyboard, but really, if you're gonna call me something, I'm a number one vocalist, number two lyricist, number three guitar player, and then I can a drummer, and I have such good rhythm I could probably just play any percussion instrument, I guess. But I could also play trumpet. You gave me 2 weeks to learn an instrument, I could learn it and play something impressive, I think.
That is impressive, and I'm looking forward to seeing you live, and seeing some of this talent that you're talking about, and this this vast musical soundscape that you created. Now, tell us a little bit about Merrick too in this project.
Yeah, so Merrick is like Emrock. He's been around. He's been around for a while. He's pretty successful. He started out in Ontario, just like go to school there for production and mixing and engineering, and then was doing also playing, touring, and traveling with people, and then just got really, really, really good around Southern Ontario and Toronto and Hamilton and places like that, and worked with Jan Arden, like a whole lot of other people. And then he transitioned and moved to Los Angeles and started working as an assistant engineer at Sound City Studios, which is like just a legendary studio.
It is.
And yeah, and then he was doing so well there and made such a good name for himself there that Dr. Dre pretty much handpicked him out of Sound City Studios to go work in Dr. Dre's home studio from like 98 to like 2003. You know what I mean? So like all the Eminem records, No Diggity, the Chronic 2001, like he worked on all of that. He has a great picture in our studio where it's like Dr. Dre on one side and then Snoop Dogg on the other side, and there's just like a little white face like stuck in between both of them. It just looks super cute. And then since then he left and came here to Victoria, and then he's just been working engineering and doing jobs that way, and just working with indie artists and trying to find that kind of thing until he put that ad up online, and I responded, and that's just how it goes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that history of Emrock. I want to hear a little bit more about you. I want to hear about the early years, when you were growing up. But like, what was the thing that inspired you to play music?
Well, I mean, like it's serious, but I mean, I grew up in like a really crappy abusive household, right? So when I found music for the first time, like just playing the drums in my garage or playing guitar, I realized right away it was something that, it couldn't hurt me. It couldn't hit me. It couldn't come back at me. It couldn't tell me whatever negativeness I was getting in the house. You know what I mean? Like I could put an honest amount of energy and an honest amount of like everything that I had in my soul into something, and it would just come back positive. You know what I mean? Like it would only make me feel like I was doing something, that this was everything I needed in my life, And then so it just snowballed from there, that I just realized, look, there's nothing else I want to do. Like this is a part of me. And now it's like the way I do it and the way I write and the way I sing, and people will say, hey, how are you able to, how when you sing, do I like feel what you're saying? It's like, dude, pain. I mean, like I've been through so much pain that when I sing and when I write and what I feel and when I project that note, it's like not, it's like, it's the skin on my body that like bleeds out through those notes. Like, it's not like I'm just trying to sing the note or trying to sing this key or trying to like put the song in the right thing. It just is, you know what I mean? It's like watching Mike Tyson fight, you know what I mean? Like, not to like consider that I'm like Mike Tyson, but you know what I mean? Like, you could watch him fight and it's like you weren't watching a fighter, you were watching like incarnate, you know what I mean? Like it's that kind of thing, like that and that's the way Merrick writes as well. So but the way, that's how it started when I was just 12, you know what I mean? Like just escaping the house and sitting in the garage, and I'm completely, besides 3 months of taking drum lessons where eventually I got better than my drum teacher and then quit. But like I'm 100% self-taught. Like I never went to school or anything for it. I just taught myself how to do everything. And so I just would put headphones on and sit in the garage and play drums in this crappy drum kit that I was put together, like an old Ludwig drum kit that was taped together with duct tape and, and stuff like that. But it didn't matter, because when I put on the headphones and I like mastered how to play Melancholy in the Infinite Sadness by Smashing Pumpkins, or the Foo Fighters record, or all the Pearl Jam records, or Our Lady Peace records, or things like that, like Jeremy Taggart and Taylor Hawkins and like Jimmy Chamberlain and Matt Cameron, like these drummers, I would put my headphones on and I would just play until I could play it exactly like the way they were playing it. And it didn't sound like a trash drum kit. It sounded like the greatest kit that's ever existed, because it was in my ears. And you know what I mean? Like, so I could escape to a whole different world in there. And then, you know what I mean? Like people say it, and some people mean it and some people don't, but like I'm alive because I found music. Like that's the only reason I exist today, is because I was able to find this existence of something that could like encompass what I wanted to do with my life. And even though the mental health kicked my ass and took 13 years away from my life, I always knew that I was going to make my way back here. And every day it would upset me that I wasn't doing it with my life, and I'm just working like manual labor jobs, which I honestly kick ass at. But I mean, like manual labor jobs and things that I knew I wasn't meant to do, that I knew I wasn't ever committing to, because I knew that I still needed to be doing music, but I just couldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't apply myself. And so, yeah, that just happened all through my teens, just writing, singing, everything I could do, and then left. And then I went and took radio broadcasting in college, not even because I wanted to be in radio broadcasting, because I didn't want to go to music school, but I wanted to get a place where I could record my music for free and have studio time, which I could going to radio broadcasting and have it. And then I'd learn everything there was to do about the radio industry so I could get my songs on the radio. And I went to one of the best radio broadcasting programs in Canada. So I have friends that are music supervisors and our program managers at radio stations all across Canada. So, you know, if I want to get things on somewhere and I need to, I have people I can connect with and contact with. And then I just moved to Chicago, and then I started meeting some of my best friends randomly that are incredible people. Like my best friend James, who mixed and mastered our single that's coming out, 1,000 Highways. He's like a multi-Grammy winner, like worked on like 60 Grammy-winning projects. Owns a studio in Chicago, a studio in London, England. He worked on College Dropout with Kanye. He worked on Rihanna's first record. Like just sick, amazing.
Wow, man, what a network!
I met him off MySpace in like 2005. You know what I mean? Like,
crazy.
He's my best friend in the world. It's just things like that. You never know who you're going to run into in life. It's like if I hadn't have moved to Chicago, if I hadn't have met my former wife at a bar where like she asked me to dance, and I said, no, I'm good, because I just got a brand new beer, right? And every time you put down your beer in the bar, they take that shit away. And then I ran and after that and went and got her. If I hadn't gone back to meet her to spend that night with her and then go to Chicago to be with her, I have no clue what my life would be like right now. I have no idea. That was the butterfly effect in that one moment that I can map my entire last 20 years of my life back to that one single solitary moment that put me on a path to where I am right now.
That's incredible. Incredible. It's like fate, you know? It's like you've been riding fate, and now all of those beautiful things and all those beautiful people that you met along the way, now they're all coalescing around you around this project. And I'm really excited for you with Special Agent Sunshine. I really am.
Me too.
Tell us about the first single.
So the first single is called "A Thousand Highways." It originally was written a few years ago with my friend Stefan, who was a part of this and then left. And then it's just about, you know what I mean? Like just kind of being lost in your life. You know what I mean? Like being lost in your life and feeling like you just need to get out there and escape and like run away and like find your path and just jump in the car and drive till you can't drive anymore, you know? So the whole, I mean, the what's the word, the on the surface of the song is like, you know, I'm just stuck in my life, I need to jump in the car and drive to the ocean, you know what I mean, and just sit in front of the ocean and just look at the vastness and just enjoy it. But then the inner part of it is like, hey, it's that inner struggle that's going on inside of me, that person that was locked in a glass box for years and years and years and couldn't get out, but could always see everything that wasn't happening with their life and just needed to just like kill it and set it on fire and break that glass so he could expose himself and just be out and just blow up. And now, I mean, I have already planned everything. I'm already 5 years down the road with this band. Like, we've already released 3 albums. We've already won everything I know we're going to win. We've already played Wembley. We've already done all of these things. Like, I am already there. I am so proud of this album that's coming out and this single, 1,000 Highways. Like, I spent 2 weeks just focusing on the breathing that I needed to do in order to actually sing the chorus properly, because I knew that chorus, the way it's sung and the way that it grows towards the end of the song, it had to be sung so well and so good with so little breath and so much power while holding that note for so long that I wanted to practice and practice and practice. So I spent 2 weeks just working on the breathing, so when I recorded that vocal that it was going to be stellar, so that even world-class vocalists would listen to it and be like, damn. I love that. Because that was really important, because it's the first single, right? So it's
the first face that everybody's going to see. And I've heard I've played the song a number of times and totally have fallen in love with it. I'm so excited to see what the reaction is going to be out there. I know that so many people are going to love it, and now to know more about the message behind it makes it even more powerful for me. And the thing that you talked about, you know, where you're already at Wembley Stadium, right? This powerful visualization that you have takes me back to the very first conversation I ever had with you. I was walking around downtown, and yeah, I mean, you were talking about so many things in such detail and depth. I'm just like, wow, now this guy has got something serious going on. I'm so excited for everybody to hear it. What is the bigger goal for Special Agent Sunshine?
There's such a web that this is going toward. It's funny. 2 of my all-time goals, which kind of have to do with music and have to do with the result of music, is one, I plan on winning an EGOT. That's one of my long-term plans, and I already have it planned out how I end up having that happen. Like, I have a whole musical I plan on writing based on the song "Stand" by Eminem. I want to do like a 4-set musical production of almost like a one-man act musical, explaining exactly almost everything that's dialogue to that entire song going through it, because I'll be able to just generate a ton from just my past and abuse and all that kind of stuff, and that's just going to blow right through, and that's going to be killer. And then like I don't care if I have to like be a gaffer on like a really good TV show and somehow try and win an Emmy that way. I don't care. I'll learn how to do lighting or I don't care. Well, I actually act as well. So I plan on trying to act in a show and then hopefully winning an Emmy that way. But yeah, I mean, I just have long, crazy plans to get in the Emmy. And then I plan on before I'm 60, I'll own the Blue Jays. That's why my main goal. I want to be the owner of the freaking Blue Jays. And I've told you the insane idea that we have of how we're going to be able to turn this into $1 billion organization, which is a fantastic idea. I hardly can't even tell anybody about.
Your financial creative goals are insane. I love them so much. But I also see how with you, you know, whatever you have in your mind, whatever you visualize, you're bringing it into reality. And that's what really impressed me. You know, to make it these days in the music industry, as you know, we've got to be hard workers, right? I mean, there was a time where we could sort of ride and someone else would take it, but these days it's all up to us. And that's what impressed me about you is your work ethic. And I think, you know, we originally talked about this being an EP, and now it's suddenly you've talked about this turning into an album. Is that correct?
Yeah, we wrote 3 more songs over the last month just to make it an album. I played them for you, but they're really good.
They are.
If I didn't have a day job and MRock didn't work a day job, we would honestly just do this all day, every day, and we could probably write 2-3 songs a week and master them and have them done. Like it's not even hard. Like it sounds arrogant, but it's like it's just so easy for the two of us to do. We'll just sit down and come up with like a little rhythm. Hey, what do you think about this little rhythm? Oh, that's great. Okay, let's do that. Oh, well, what comes off of that? Okay, well, the A. Well, we can go to the A minor and then go to the E minor. Okay, let's do the E minor in the chorus, and then we'll come to the E minor thing, and then we'll add like some Wurlitzer over it, and then we'll do like a little pad over top of that, and then we'll do like, okay, well, let's put this beat over there. Let's do this, and then like wow, that's all that's happening. I'm already writing the whole rhythm in my head because once we come up with it, once you get really, really, really good at writing lyrics, like you really understand the foundational aspect of it, like a PhD in writing lyrics and how certain words work with certain phrases, work with certain syllables, that work with certain visual aspects that mix with the melody. Once you really get all that, it's so easy. You know what I mean? It's like how Stephen King probably just sits down in an afternoon and just writes a book. He's like, well, I got nothing to do today. I got this idea about a dog and a cemetery, and I'll just do that. You know what I mean? It's like that. Like it just comes out so naturally and so unabruptly and unabashedly that we already have 3 albums written. Like. Yeah. Without even writing any new material, we already still have another 2 albums we're just waiting to like put together that are already just demoed that we just haven't got to yet. And there's like at least 14 really good singles out of those like 30 songs. And that's without writing any more new songs. And like we just wrote 3 this month because we wrote a dance song, a pop dance song that is really good. And neither one of us have ever written a dance song before. We were just like, oh, I really want to have a banger on this album. That's like just a really great dance track. That's like not like dancey, but like, you know what I mean? Like like a pop dancey song, like if like a Coldplay dance song or something like that. You know
totally.
Like that kind of thing. And it's really good. And oh man, I'm so excited for this album. Like there's a few songs you still haven't even heard yet, and they're so good. And there's still would only just be like we have 7. It's 10 songs, and there's legitimately 7 singles off this record. And there's the other 3 are still really good, and they're gonna be like I know they're gonna be album tracks that people are like, oh, that's my favorite song. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yes.
Like that's Pearl Jam. That's my Pearl Jam tattoo right there.
You're super fan.
Cover. And I could name you my 5 favorite Pearl Jam songs of all time, and I bet people that only kind of love Pearl Jam have never heard of them. You know what I mean? Never ever heard of them. They're just like some back B-side album tracks that are just fucking gold. And I love that band.
I mean I hear the Eddie Vedder influence in the way that you deliver your vocal tracks. I really do. But there is something extremely unique about you, and it's really hard, I gotta say, to define exactly what genre of music you guys are. You know, it really is, which is nice. We're
trying to put ourselves like right here so that we can go like this at any time. Yeah. And if you can write really, really great just along the edges of everything, you can, I guarantee if this album blows up and the next one blows up, we'll have people like just rushing to us. They're like, oh, I want to write with you. Oh, I want to write with you. Oh, I want to write with you. And I'm lucky. Like I write really well for my own voice, but I write really well for a female vocal, and like from a female point of view, and from how, because women talk differently, women think differently, women move their mouths and their tongues differently when they vocalize certain things. And once you study all of that and you start to really understand that, then it's just about the conversation. It's just about understanding you know, what's going on today with different lyrical ideas and different this kind of things. And once you get all that, you can just go right into somebody's mind. And then the only hard part at that point is just sitting around listening to like 20 or 25 of their songs, so I can get their cadence, I can get their style, I can get their tone, I can get match all of that down. I can find out words that they use more often, nouns that they use more often, verbs they use more often, and then I can just place all that together and then give it to them, and they'll be like, "What are you, in my head?" I'm like, "No, I'm just good at this shit."
You are truly organic intelligence, my friend.
Yeah, the talking about the vocal thing actually goes back to how I learned how to play drums. I learned how to sing the same way, because people will say, "Oh, I can't learn how to sing. I can't do it." No, it's the same thing. It's like if I gave you a guitar and I gave you 3 months and you had to practice every single day, do you think you could be good at it? They'd be like, okay, I guess I could get good at it if I had to. Yeah, it's just the same thing with vocals. You know, I can teach anybody how to be a professional singer, because all it is just muscle memory and memorizing tone and memorizing notes. And then the hardest part is just getting over the dignification or whatever, that you're able to be good singing in front of people. Because once people, it doesn't matter what people think of you as a person. If you stand up and show your talent and it's good, you know what I mean? Like,
you got him. Yeah.
You can't not appreciate it. The only person that looks like a jerk is the guy that's trying not to appreciate it just to be a jerk. Then everybody looks around like, dude, shut up. This is good. Like, you know, but that's how I learned to sing. Like I learned how to sing by memorizing how Rain Maida sang, how Eddie Vedder sang, how Garth Brooks sang, how a couple other people I can't think of, how they sang. I memorized every single note they sang. I memorized every single tone that they had, so that it got to the point that once I started blending all of that together and actually getting towards what was really inside here and putting that out, I can then go. I have 4-octave range. Like I can sing really, really low, like below my darling, like really low, and then I can sing falsetto. So I mean, like, because I mastered how to sing like Rain Maida, you know what I mean, and how that whole thing, like. And so once you do all that, it's just like learning drum beats, like the 1,000 different types of drum beats that there are. Once you master them and memorize them, it's just comfortability to be able to bounce in between whatever you need to do, because it's already in your repertoire. And that's how I got to where I am as a singer, really.
I love it. What can people expect live from you guys?
A perfect example would be if you've ever seen the video recording of Pearl Jam 1992 playing Pink Pop, where Eddie Vedder jumps off the little video platform into the thing. Honestly, that's what I'm like live. I have so much energy, and like I just like when I'm done. I haven't played a live show in a while, but like when I have played live shows, I am so emotionally exhausted when I'm done. Like there's every piece of my being just flies out. I'm like running around and dancing, and like, you know, you'll see me do some Eddie Vedder things when I get out, by like running up the scaffolding and like hanging off the scaffolding off top, doing crazy stuff like that, because I just don't care.
I could see. I mean, I can see even in this interview, I can see the level of energy that is inside of you, just waiting to hit the stage. Tell us when is the single being released?
The single will be released January 27th, so I guess about 3.5 weeks from now.
Okay.
We released everywhere. 50,000 radio stations worldwide, I guess, and like
that's right. Well, so it's coming out on Sony Orchard, so yeah, you've got it's going worldwide now. Is there some kind of a music video or a lyric video along with this?
Yeah, so we filmed the video. It's done. That'll get released around February or January 14th, like a couple weeks before the release comes out. So that's all done. That'll be great. We'll release that on YouTube and on the website and on the social media and all that kind of stuff.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited. And what's even more crazy is that we played the first 2 songs that we're releasing. Our second single is called Edge of Everything, which is a great and female empowerment song. And it's kind of about being married to Wonder Woman and then staying home and kind of having her back while she goes out to like save the world while also picking up the kids and stuff like that. And that's kind of what the whole song is about. But what's so funny is that we'll play like 1,000 Highways, which is I'm really, really almost scared if it's going to be put out to that many places. I'm really kind of scared about how well it'll be received. But like Edge of Everything gets way better reviews from people. Way better reviews. People will listen to 1,000 Highways and then they'll hear Edge of Everything, which is more of a pop rock song, like anyway. And people will be like, man, 1,000 Highways is great, but Edge of Everything, holy crap, man! Like that is so good. So it's like I'm really excited to have. Hopefully 1,000 Highways like really breaks out and it's like a big first single, but then like the next single comes out and it's gonna be like okay, these guys are
double punch.
Yeah, and then like oh my god, the single after that is gonna be good, and the one after that is planned that's gonna be really good, and we have videos already planned for doing all those things. Oh my god,
fantastic!
I'm just anxious to like just get there.
I could
like,
see that. I could feel that. So where's the best place to find you online?
We're almost got our website finished, specialagentsunshine.co. That's almost up and done. That's got a really awesome, amazing merch that we're selling, which we're actually selling cheaper than pretty much anybody sells merch because I'm not in this for the money. And then, which is why we'll succeed, because I could give a crap about every dollar I make. I plan on taking that money and funneling it towards everybody underneath me, so everybody I know can raise themselves up. Like that's my goal. I'm building a community with the finances we make.
I love that. And
yeah, that's one of the main goals of Special Agent Sunshine, is to basically grow a community around us that builds and builds and builds and teaches people with wealth how you should use your wealth, which is not watching it in your freaking bank account grow into millions and billions. It's to spread it out, because every dollar I make over $10 million is just stupid. So like, you know what I mean? Like I don't need a yacht or like a private jet. Like I don't care. Like I don't need that crap. What I need is to have everybody else around me have their mortgages paid off, and have their friends' mortgages paid off, and have their kids be like completely taken care of. And they never have to worry about groceries and stuff like that. Like that's more important to me, and like what I want to accomplish with this band, than anything else that could ever happen.
I love your outlook so much. Bipolar Man, it has been amazing to talk to you. People can also find you, just want to let them know, at bigrecords.world/Special Agent Sunshine. You've got a website up there already, a web page.
Or on Facebook or TikTok or YouTube or
you're on all those, eh?
All those. We're on everything.
Nice.
Everywhere you can find anywhere, we're there.
It was just such a pleasure to talk to you. I know we're going to talk again. So excited for your release. Hey, we've been here on The Cabin. We've been talking to Bipolar Man from Special Agent Sunshine. They got a new single coming out soon, video, and then the single, 1,000 Highways. Look for it. Been so great to talk to you, brother.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it very much.
Okay.
I travel step by step, that road unravels, right then left, and I'm finally on my own. Speaking tongues I babble, words unravel, despite my thoughts being full of rebel. I'm finally on my own. Still my words I gather, collect what matters, hoping it works and my brain won't scatter. As I drove